MGM Northfield Park presents The Rizzo Show. And now, your host, Tony Rizzo.
Hey, now. Oh, my goodness. We're excited. Folks, the Browns are coming. The Browns are coming. Welcome to The Rizzo Show special edition. We've got Tony Grossi, Cleveland, ESPN Cleveland's Browns analyst, longtime analyst for the Plain Dealer. Tone, welcome to the show. Tony, have you seen a fervor like that? When's the last time you've seen excitement for Browns training camp like this year?
It's not comparable to anything because of social media. I mean, the last time the Browns had such high expectations was long before social media.
Right.
And I think that adds another element to it that cranks it up even further. But as far as this could be the best team on roster that I've been around.
I'm sorry, Tony. I just can't believe you just said that right now. But, Tony, are you concerned? Everybody's talking about continuity and the team coming together. Got a bunch of pieces, parts, a lot of big personalities. How big of a concern for you?
Well, the reason I'm not so concerned about that is because Freddie Kitchens and John Dorsey have been talking about that since March, since really the trade for Odell Beckham and the draft. So it's on their mind. They realize that that's the next step is to making this collection of players a team. So it's not like the coach is enamored by what he's got. He knows the work ahead. So I feel pretty good about that.
All right, Tone, let's talk about some important dates that are coming up. Of course, this Thursday, July 25th, camp begins, at least for us. But the rookies will be there way before that, right?
A couple days, I think, 3 or 4 days before, and assorted veterans. So they ease into it.
All right, August 3rd is the Brown and Orange scrimmage, which no one ever goes to at First Energy. I'm predicting a sellout. Total sellout for a scrimmage, right? August 8th is the first preseason game. Folks, we're going to be at the preseason games. 14th and 15th, the Browns and Colts will have a joint practice in Indianapolis. Do you like when teams do that?
I love that. You know, we haven't seen recent coaches do that enough for the Browns. Marty Schottenheimer always used to do it. Bill Belichick used to do it. I think we'll see more of it going forward because of a de-emphasis on the games themselves, the preseason games.
Okay. Plenty of questions this season, Tone, but I think number one, we got to start with Freddie Kitchens. I think nationally, too, that's been the narrative. There are a lot of knowns on the Browns, but their one unknown is their head coach. Now, they passed up Bruce Arians for Freddie, and I'm sure Baker played into that. How confident are you he's the right guy?
Well, you have to go on his short work sample last year, the 8 games as offensive coordinator, and there was really nothing but encouragement there. They kept getting better right up until the 16th game offensively, and now you figure with a full training camp, I mean, he's making a big step up, but he seems to have the personality that things can roll off his back. Inside the locker room and outside the locker room. My biggest concern is that the day-to-day headaches that come with that job that have nothing to do with the football team.
Right.
And I think there's no manual for that.
Dealing with you and I is part of that, right?
That's
yeah, right.
So Freddie, also things off the field that come across his desk. But any first-year coach, we'd have that same concern about it. So as far as a first-time coach, I'm pretty confident that Freddie's personality will get him through.
All right, we know there's going to be drama. There's drama in every training camp, even when the Browns are good. What do we know about Duke Johnson, Tony, who desperately wants out of Cleveland? Now, he just hired a new agent, but you think that's good because you think he might stay.
Well, I think it was a positive that he changed agents from an inexperienced agent to an experienced agent, and whose name is familiar with Browns fans, Drew Rosenhaus. Drew Rosenhaus, based in South Florida. A lot of Browns right now come from the U in Miami. He also has a great relationship with John Dorsey. I don't think Drew Rosenhaus can do anything to affect the trade, but I think he could settle things down with his client, Duke Johnson, and make sure that he does nothing to disrupt the team, because that will only hurt Duke Johnson.
Yes or no, is Duke on this team September 8th when they open against the Titans?
I'm going to say yes, because I don't think the Browns are going to give him away. One little caveat, if there is an injury somewhere around the league to a running back with a very good team, they could up an offer. And if Dontrell Hilliard, the heir apparent to Duke's role, is impressive, that could happen, but I think that's a long shot.
How about Nick Chubb, Tone? How is he going to tune out the drama? He knows he's the guy, right?
Yeah, oh, sure. And those guys, Nick Chubb is a real popular player on the team. after only 1 year. So is Duke Johnson. There's no drama between them. You add in the mix Kareem Hunt, who's going to be practicing and playing in preseason, but will be suspended for the first 8 games. I think, Freddie was the running backs coach a year ago. He knows those guys as well as any coach on the staff. And I think he feels real comfortable with the mix in that running back room.
All right, speaking of offense, Tony, we're going back into the Rizzy vault. This is last year's training camp. You and I talking about a rookie quarterback. I think it was number 6.
Tone, what about Baker Mayfield? I've heard more debate about, should he play, will he play? Seems like every other day Hugh's got to come out and say he's not going to start. But, there are reports now that he's looked really good. What do you think the future is for him?
Well, I think the future is in the future right now. I think they're determined to carry out this plan to start Tyrod Taylor, and I think it's because of a couple of things. Their faith in Tyrod, that he's going to win games for him. And it's not anything against Baker, but they feel they have created the luxury of having him come in when they feel he's ready. Now, by the time his training camp and preseason are over, I don't know, they may change their mind. But I don't think that Tyrod is going to perform such that it will be an easy decision to put the rookie in there.
Tone, there was an article that came out this past week on ESPN.com where Baker admitted he did not like being told that he wasn't able to start. I mean, they told him right away, Tyrod's the guy and you're going to back him up. Mm-hmm. As it turned out, Tone, should we have started Baker Mayfield from week 1?
I don't know. I think everything happened organically. Their plan did proceed. They started Tyrod Taylor. But they exposed this plan to Baker even before he was drafted, when they worked him out back in Oklahoma. Then when they drafted him, they reinforced it. And it was John Dorsey who was doing the talking. It wasn't Hugh Jackson. So Baker accepted it. And it worked out. It didn't work out the way they expected, but it worked out.
It did.
Organically, and that's kind of cool that, sometimes you have to be lucky, and the Browns have not had a lot of luck lately, but in this case, things worked out fortunately.
Yeah, I give you a lot of credit because you came full circle on Baker. You were questionable with him at first, but Tone, you saw a couple of practices and you realized this kid can really play. And then Tone, when he got in the Jets game, it looked like a different team.
Immediately, the first drop back and the first pass in that Jets game, and now he's on his way. He's going to be one of the most, if everything goes according to plan, they score a lot of points, they win a lot of games. If those 2 things happen, Baker Mayfield is going to be in the MVP discussion.
Ooh. So how about Odell Beckham Jr.? How much better does he make Baker?
Boy, that's a mystery. He's going to make him better, but how much better? How do you quantify that? This is the number 1 ranked player on the team according to Madden 2020.
Ratings, right?
He's a Pro Bowl player. He's so charismatic, so dynamic, and you got a quarterback who gets the ball out of his hands fast. They'll be on the same page pretty quickly, I would think, in training camp. I'm excited to see what these two, along with Jarvis Landry, will do. I think this is the perfect pairing of a receiver and a running back. And a quarterback. They're in the same generation. They're still same age group.
Sure. So what about the whole getting the ball around? But people in New York tell me, you watch, if Odell doesn't get 13 targets one game, he's going to complain. Jarvis, are you worried about that?
Well, we heard the same thing about Jarvis Landry a year ago, and even though the Browns were losing the first half of the year and Landry wasn't getting a lot of reps, he kind of held his tongue. I think Landry will be a tremendous influence on Odell Beckham, and I think the message in that whole team is to win first and worry about receptions and reps later. I think Baker is a strong quarterback who's going to make sure nobody steps out of line.
Boy, I just like watching him throw the ball in that video. Isn't it something? John, biggest offensive weakness? Do they even have one? Depth at O-line?
I would say depth at offensive tackle. Perhaps depth at center. If either of those 2 starters go down, any team would get nervous, right? They need luck at health and injuries. But if you'd asked me that, I'd say offensive tackle, the depth behind the starters is a little questionable.
Got to keep Baker upright. Coming up, Browns can't win a championship without a defense. Tone, they did an overhaul this year. We will talk about it. Stay with us, please. Welcome back. It is our Browns preview show. Browns open training camp Thursday. Tony Grossi, our guest from 850 ESPN Cleveland. Tony, we didn't talk about the defense in the first block. That's what we're going to talk about now. And I think it all starts with Myles Garrett. I'm hearing stories that he's actually working out. He's healthy. He's working out with Stipe Miocic, who is an MMA fighter. Tony, don't you feel like this is his breakout year?
Yeah, it is. I mean, last year was kind of a breakout year.
13 and a half sacks.
That's not too shabby.
Right.
But he feels he could lead the league in sacks. He feels he should be a Defensive Player of the Year nominee, if not the winner. And the addition of Olivier Vernon on the other end spot, new defensive coordinator. I think you're going to see Myles Garrett line up anywhere along the front four, mostly at right end, but he'll come from different angles. Yeah, I think Garrett is, he's the franchise quarterback on defense.
Tone, what about Olivier Vernon? What will fans see in him? And a lot of people in New York still angry that he left.
Yeah, he's a great player. He's a great complement as a pass rusher. In New York, after some transactions, he became their number one pass rusher, and that was not the role that he excels in. He's a complementary player. He's Batman. He's Robin to the Batman, which Myles Garrett is. So that will benefit Myles Garrett and hurt opposing quarterbacks.
Yeah. Tone, we learned Denzel Ward is really good last year, but his Achilles heel is staying healthy. What do you think? Did the Browns work with him to try and get him to stop using his head a bit more?
They have talked to him. They talked last year about needing to do that. Then when they have the new coordinator, Steve Wilks, whose specialty was defensive backs before he became a coordinator with Carolina, they've talked about it this year. And I think the times we've talked to Denzel Ward, he's even acknowledged it. That was half the battle, getting him to acknowledge that he has to change the style. Here, you have one cornerback in Denzel Ward who gets criticized for being too aggressive as a tackler. Yeah. The one they just picked up, Greedy Williams, was criticized for being a guy who doesn't want to tackle. So they need to combine their efforts, and they'll be a pretty good tandem.
But the Browns really like Greedy Williams, Tone. They traded up to get him. They couldn't believe he was where he was in the second round. Wonder what you're thinking we can expect from Greedy. Like, is he a guy that could start day one?
I think they think so.
Wow.
Yeah, I think the opportunity is there. In minicamp, he's got such quick feet. I mean, they talk about mirroring a receiver. He runs wherever, the receiver always has the advantage. He knows where he's going.
Sure.
Well, Greedy Williams looked pretty good at catching up wherever the receiver was going. So we'll see. I mean, it's, Joe Hayden didn't start from day one.
Sure.
He was a first-round pick. We'll see if Greedy Williams can do it.
Browns led the league, Tony, in missed tackles last year. Maybe one of the reasons why Greg Williams isn't here. Steve Wilks, who got fired as the head coach of the Cardinals, is now our D coordinator. What can we expect there?
Well, obviously there'll be a new emphasis on tackling, and they've acquired some players that with tackling in mind. One of their draft picks, the linebacker Sione Takitaki, was a ferocious tackler at Brigham Young. That's an area of the team on defense that is probably the biggest need for improvement.
Sure.
They rush the passer on occasion, they steal the ball on occasion, but they're not dependable tackles. And it's mostly the middle of the field there, the linebacker situation. That's why they drafted two of them.
All right, Tone, everybody wants to know how many wins for the Browns this year, and we'll watch training camp before I lock you in for you.
Okay.
And is this a playoff team, Tony?
On paper, it is. I mean, it's totally realistic to have that talk, to have that buzz, to have that expectation. We know so much can happen that can derail that.
Sure.
And you need some luck, but I think they're ready to win. There's no excuse. I mean, they've upgraded the talent, the roster. They're ready to win. It's just a matter of now doing it.
Say it again, Tony. I'm sorry.
They're ready to win. Are we ready for it?
That's what I'm going to. Tony, we have been wandering through the desert at 1:31. Yes, Browns trying to win. By the way, the Browns tickets all sold out this week. They put single game tickets on sale Monday morning. They sold out in a couple hours. So every seat for every home game sold out this season. Tony, thank you for being here. Coming up, get your napkins out, kids. We're going to eat. I've got a place, Italian, you'll want to check out. Stay with me. Oh, thank you to Tony Grossi for the Browns knowledge. Welcome back, folks, to the Rizzo Show. Well, it is time to eat. If you're looking for a hidden gem, Middleburg Heights, I've got the place for you. Got to go see Chef Pete. Check this out. So we're here in the southwest suburbs, Middleburg Heights. Actually, just a short walk away from the Indian Creek Estates, where I grew up. Great place, by the way. We're looking for fine dining? You don't have to go downtown. This is white tablecloth with a renowned chef. Welcome to Bistro on 130. Well, we're in the kitchen. My man Pete Masha, who is the head chef here. Petey, of course, we worked with you at Johnny's on Fulton, Johnny's downtown, Jay Bella. Now you're here at Bistro on 130. Pete, what would you describe this as? Italian comfort food?
Yeah, this is all the dishes that I have done over the years that I put together that were my favorites.
Your favorites. In
Yeah.
fact, you're going to show us how you're going to make. Explain what this dish is. What's
Well,
first of all, it's called chicken.
This is our chicken alouette. This
Chicken
is
alouette.
one of the very first dishes, probably when I was 18 years old, I made for my buddy Rick Guido and his girlfriend. When I was just starting out, it was my very first dish I made in an apartment. And they called me up when I got the place, and they're like, "You better have that on the menu. That was your very first
Got to
dish."
put chicken alouette on.
And I said, "You know what? I'm going to do it." So what we do is we take our fresh cheese, our garlic and herb cheese, and we just put a little right inside. We take this and we lightly coat
Flour.
it in flour, and then we dip it
A little egg wash.
in a little egg wash. And then we take it right out of there into our bread.
Into the Italian breadcrumbs.
These are
Now,
homemade.
You trick these up, right?
Yeah, these are our homemade
What's
bread.
in there? A little herb, a little garlic.
Oh yeah, cheese, lots of
Cheese.
cheese, a lot of garlic and parsley. Then we take it right over to the frying pan, and we just saute that right up.
Oh, those breadcrumbs smell delicious.
Yeah, those are homemade. I mean, you can't beat them.
I know you're going to make us a bunch of other stuff,
Yes,
too.
we are.
I'm going to go get set up outside for my favorite part of the Rizzo Show, Riz on the Road, and that's when we get to eat.
That's
All
it.
right, Petey?
Absolutely, I
You
can't
got
wait.
Let him eat. Let him eat. Folks, I want you to know now. Hold on. It's handmade, homemade Italian goodness. All
Yes,
right,
it
here
is.
we go. So now this is the alouette.
That's our alouette.
With the cheese in the middle.
Yep,
I
and
love
you-
how you browned up the breadcrumbs.
Uh-huh.
Okay? So it's chicken and cheese,
And when you see
Italian
the-
breadcrumb.
And the cheese should be oozing out of the sides, and it's just unbelievable.
When you make Italian food like this, the breadcrumbs are the key. That's the first thing you taste. These are the
You know from
From
what
the
that
old
is.
school.
Yeah. That
Pete,
is from the
explain. We grew
Meatball
up-
Olympics,
That's
man.
right. We grew up in Brook Park, Middleburg Heights when
Yeah.
we were kids, and these are recipes your mom would make, right?
These are the
you're,
recipes.
You're rocking your mom's sauce right now.
Right.
The meatball is so juicy and tender. You don't want dry, hard meatballs. That thing
Right.
has so much flavor to it. So Middleburg, North Royalton, Parma Heights, wherever you are, we're Southwest. This is what we call downtown food in the suburbs from one of the best chefs in Cleveland. Homemade Italian food. Come and get it. Bistro on 130th. We're right on West 130th here in Middleburg Heights. In fact, I'm going to stop and see Mom when this is over.
That's
in
right.
the Indian Creek Estates. Petey, thanks.
Hey, thank you,
God
Tony.
bless,
I appreciate
buddy.
it,
Yep,
man.
good
Thank
luck.
you so much.
We'll be here a lot.
Thank you, buddy.
That is Sprague and West 130th there in Middleburg Heights. Another place you can find some great food, our favorite place, the MGM Northfield Park. Let's see what's happening.
There's a new show in town, Northeast Ohio, and we brought the spirit of Las Vegas with us. Win a 2019 Jeep Wrangler during our 9 Jeeps in 9 days giveaway in July. Earn 1 entry for every point earned. M Life Rewards members earn 3 times bonus entries on Thursdays. Drawings are held every Tuesday and Friday in July at 9 p.m. Introducing Tap at MGM Northfield Park. Enjoy comfort food, pub classics, and a large selection of Northeast Ohio craft beers. Don't miss all of your favorite entertainers performing live at MGM Northfield Park. Tickets available at the box office or Ticketmaster.com. Take a Vegas vacation without leaving the state. MGM Northfield Park. Las Vegas is here.
Hey now, don't forget, stay tuned. Don't you go anywhere. Our good friends, Big Chuck and Little John, are coming up next. All right, as we said, big week for the Browns as training camp officially kicks off Thursday. Regular season starts September 8th against the Titans, folks. I want everyone to take a deep breath Because if the Browns are, let's say the Browns are 2-3 after 5 games. I don't want people jumping off buildings and freaking out. The Browns are going to finish strong. That's what we need. You need teams that finish strong. Forget the fast start. I know everybody wants to win the opener, but come on, just relax. Have some fun. Enjoy it. We're good again, baby. Thank you for joining us. I don't know how much time is left. I can't hear. Good to be alive. Good night, everybody. Go Browns!